Powered by Virginia Radio.
Thank you for coming to the podcast. My name is Big Al. I'm the HNIC of the Let Me Say Something podcast here on Powered by Virginia Radio Network. Alrighty. Now y'all may know my next guest. My guest next to me, I should say. Okay, I've had her on the show before. She's running for city council. Okay, and we want to give her some love. This is Yugonda Sample Jones. And she is, listen, first of all, thanks for coming. I know you can't take it hard. I've been following you on Facebook, and she's been all over the place, y'all. She's been all over the place, you know, and it's sort of a thrill for me to have her back here, you know, and we want to give her some love. And so, Yolanda, how's it going? So how's the campaign going?
It's going well. It's going well. Tuesday is the day.
Tuesday, November 8th.
Yes.
Make sure you vote. Okay, and I don't want y'all, don't forget now, turn your clocks back on Sunday. So don't be trying to say, I didn't know. You know, turn your clocks back on Sunday. Come out on Tuesday and November 8th and vote. Okay? You know, now we want you to vote for Yugonda Sample Jones. So, you know, you see the name of the ballot, just put a little box here. I'm just saying, okay?
What number is on the ballot? What number?
Yeah.
So it's actually on for the South District. So it's from J. Clyde Morris and Newport News. So from J. Clyde Morris down to the waterfront. And that's the district that I'm running for.
That's a big district.
It is. It's the largest district in Newport News. So we really need to make sure that we take our vote seriously because a lot of changes are happening in that district. And what happens there is really going to set the pace for Newport News. So we need to make sure we have a strong person representing us.
Which will be you.
Of course.
Okay, I'm just saying, you know, but no wonder you're tired of that great big old district there. You went up and down to the waterfront and everything and back. You know, God love you for that.
Yeah, and it's very diverse. It's really interesting how we have the East End, which is historically black, African American, and then we have Hilton Village that's been added on to us, and that's
Hilton Village is on there.
Yeah, so
I'm surprised at that for a certain reason.
But it's the first year after the redistricting. We have Hilton, and we also gain Warwick. So those are very different districts compared to the community that I live in. So I'm looking forward to that.
Why did they redistrict?
Well, it was federal law. It didn't have anything to do with elections or anything like that because of the federal law. And I forgot, I apologize, but I know the lady, her name is Tutu. She's the one who works with the city planning department, and she had to get us in compliance. So that's why it was changed.
Okay, sounds good to me. All right, now let's get to the big question here, guys. You know, why should you vote for Yugonda Sample Jones? Okay, and I'm going to let her tell you in her own words.
Well, you should vote for me because I'm an activist. So I've been doing this work long before I decided to run for office, and it's truly out of passion. I have a passion to make lives better for people, to open opportunities, to connect access to opportunities. Because I've been a person on the other side that was unheard and didn't know what way to go. I was homeless for some time with my children, with my daughter, and I didn't have resources. Making phone calls, and it was frustrating, and it wasn't until, I decided I had the cushion of going back to live with my family that I was able to look at some things and get some parenting skills and things like that. But everyone doesn't have that access to opportunity or knowledge. So that's where the real passion comes from. There's so many people who have God-given gifts and talents, but it goes to the graveyard because they don't have a way to get it out to the world.
I've been watching some of the campaigns around the country and particularly here in Virginia and so forth. What makes you different than another person running for the same position? Because everybody says similar things. Vote for me because I know what America needs and wants. It's like, dude, I've never met you. How do you know this?
Exactly.
But so what is it about you? What is your platform? What do you stand for?
So communication, the biggest thing, and I haven't really heard that on people's platforms. Now I have, since some people have grabbed it from me, but communication is the biggest thing that's needed in Newport News, and I am different because I have a business that does this, and this is the work that I have done for so many years, is connect the dots. And when we talk about communication, it heals a lot of the issues that we have in government. Transparency. If you're communicating with your people, then they're going to know what's going on with different projects and things like that. Accountability. Because if you have the information out there, people can check you, fact check you, what you're doing. So communication is definitely key to building a better city. You streamline the communication, and of course my passion is with small businesses. So what I bring is the knowledge of being a small business owner and going through those trials of trying to work with the Commissioner of Revenue and also maneuver through economic development. Those are streamlined. That's where I want to streamline that communication process to make it easier to do business with the city. So what makes me different from those candidates is I have actually been affected by the policies, and I have a strategy on how to fix it.
Okay, and the one thing you said is that at one point you were homeless. I find that fascinating. You know, going from there, and then now you're running for city council, a business owner, you're a mother, you're a wife. I mean, these are things I keep telling you, don't hold back now. Okay, but these are things that the people out there need to know about you, because folks, she's not just some candidate that just wants to run. Okay, she's been where you are. She's probably been there. Okay, and she's been there, so she understands you. And she understands what you need, and you have somebody in office that's going to actually fight for you, because she's you.
Absolutely.
Okay, so how, when you said you bounced back from homelessness, how did you do that?
I was blessed enough to have, my mom had a house on the Eastern Shore, and I was able to go back there with my children and just look at life and really prioritize where I was going and where I wanted to be, because for so often it was about me. And then when I had children, it's like, okay, you do the best with what you know how to do, with what was passed down to you from your parents. But it's a different time and age.
Exactly.
My children grew up with cell phones and things like this, so it was really different for me to maneuver through that. But I was able to bounce back from homelessness because of education. Not traditional education by going to college, but educating myself by reading, finding out what resources were out here, finding out what those resources were supposed to do, and then holding them accountable for that. I put myself in the VIEW program. VIEW program is something that social services offers. And I remember they told me that I couldn't be in it because my daughter was not a year old. And I was like, what? So you just want me to sit here and collect a check? That's not going to work for me. So, yeah.
Really?
No, we can't get complacent. So I asked them, I said, I need to be in this class. And they allowed me to be in the class. And from there, I got a job in not communications, it was a call center, APAC. And I worked there for years, and I just learned a lot about myself.
Excellent. Now, so before she mentioned Eastern Shore, just so you know, there's nothing on Eastern Shore.
Don't do that.
Yeah. That's where my family's from.
Really?
We got a house on Strawberry Street.
Okay.
Okay. So, but there's nothing out there. They just put out a store. But if you need some time to think and relax, that's the place to go.
It is.
Because you have a lot of time to think. Because there's nothing else to do there. Your story to me is fascinating. And what, as you're running for office, what is the biggest obstacle in your way? I don't mean person.
I want to say popularity. I'm not someone who really puts myself out there. I'd rather just stay behind the scenes and do the work and get it done right from the start. But running for office, you have to put yourself out there. You have to take pictures. You have to show everything that you do. And that's really difficult for someone who is just used to doing the work silently.
You sure? I've seen you all over Facebook. I've seen you everywhere.
Yeah, so those are things that I do
and
all the time.
You're pushing yourself to do this? Or
No, so those lives is a part of education. So It's not just because of the campaign. That's something that I always do because that's the best way of getting information out, and it's free. So getting information information out about small businesses, about the buildings that are coming up. And I do that because I come across so many people that have questions. And it's difficult to answer everyone, but what I can do is put a live out and say, go look on my live because I explained it, or go look on the live because I have the information for the apartment complex there for you. So it's about the access to the information.
Now, you're doing a lot. I see you on Facebook. You're all over the place. I know you're doing a lot of traveling. Of course, you're campaigning a lot more traveling than you ordinarily would do. You know, how does your family help out with that? Your husband, the kids, how do they help out with that? 'Cause I don't think you could do it without them.
Well, my husband just made me sit down for 5 minutes to get something to eat. So
good man.
They keep me on track a lot. My thing is, my children are grown, so I don't have to be there on a day-to-day, making sure they're doing homework and stuff like that. But they have supported me in just being them. My family is my sacred place, and that's where I can go and breathe, fuss, cuss, whatever I need to do when they understand.
So there's no judgment there.
Exactly. Very supportive.
Now, does you want to shout them out?
Yes. Hey, Brandon. Hey, Kayla, Cameron, Kaya, B.
Let's see. Yes. And shout out your husband too?
That's Brandon.
Brandon? Oh, okay. I didn't know.
That's my Brandon.
Okay. What's up, Brandon? Okay. She's doing a good job, Brandon, man. You're a good guy. Yeah. You know. So, what do you, November 8th is coming.
It is.
Okay. And everybody's getting, there's all kinds of narratives all over.
There is.
Doggone shame. We just had an 82-year-old man fight a 40-year-old man and put the hammer away from him. Anyway, I don't want to get into that. That's a whole different thing. But what is it that you would, if elected, what are your priorities? What are you going to do?
Well, the first thing is to thank everyone, even if not. I'm very grateful of the support that has came out. So win, lose, or draw, we still have a mission, and we still have to stay focused because gentrification is real, and we have to make sure that people are educated. So I'm very grateful for the connections that's been made, and if I'm blessed enough to sit in that seat, those connections will be a part of that strategic plan, to the communication plan, making sure that they're in the loop of what's going on, making sure that we sit down together and talk about the city budget and where we want to see money going. And that goes into the communication plan. So definitely starting to implement that. And then there's some things that I would like to bring up for a vote, like the vote that was made right before Juneteenth that prohibited the Southeast community from having our parade.
What? There was a vote? What?
So
I didn't know anything about that.
Well, no.
You know about that loud?
The vote, it was an ordinance that was put into place, and it really made it more expensive for grassroots organizations or any organizations to be able to have block parties and things like that. And that's something that I've seen, it's hindered our community a lot. To the point that we can't have block parties. We didn't have our Southeast Day Parade, and that's something that the community definitely looks forward to every year.
I had no idea.
Yeah, so that's why you need me as your city council.
Exactly. Well, yes, it
so
is.
I can say you come on here and get in the city council meeting so you can tell your truth.
Oh, they don't want Power by Virginia there. Is that Big Al at HNIC? But you're going to get into once you win, we're going to be positive about this. Once you get into office, okay. You talk about connections. Well, first of all, before you do that, you mentioned the word gentrification. Explain that, please.
Gentrification. So it's when you systematically remove, or a group of people, demographic of people are systematically removed out of their community and replaced with a different type of people. So it is real, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. Right. Because, of course, we know that the East End community has gone lack of everything, lack of medical facilities, grocery stores. Yeah. We don't have these things in our community. So, of course, we want these buildings to come. We want new businesses. We want our community to be thriving again. But at the same time, when we look at things like our tax assessments, and it's 28% higher, And then you go up the street to where seeing you in those areas, and it's 7.9% for the tax assessments. It seems to me that we can be doing things a little bit differently to make sure that the burden of revitalization is not on the people, but we can think outside the box.
Right. Right. Now I know when I talked to you before, you said one of your things is thinking outside the box.
Absolutely.
Looking at a problem and thinking outside the box how to solve that particular problem.
Yes.
Okay. Why does it take city council, the mayor, so long to solve a problem? That's what I can't figure out.
Well, it's a lot of checks and balances within the government, and
Seems like there's too many.
There is, but you need to know how to maneuver through it. And one thing that I crave for my city council to do is to just communicate with us. Where are you in the process? If it's in a procurement state and you can't speak to it legally, that's fine. But at least communicate. Where are you with the Huntington Middle School project? Where are you with Riverview Farm Park? Where are you in the process? So when I share this information with Ms. Jennifer Smith, she's the chair of the Economic Development Authority. And if you don't know, they had a meeting this morning, but you need to pay attention to that board because that's how the money moves and flows in our city. Legally, the city of Newport News cannot own land. You can't sell land, but you do it through an authority, which is the EDA authority. The Economic Development Authority. But I had a conversation with her about this very thing, and we came up with this concept of a dashboard that could be put on the website. So when people want to know where the city is on a project, you can click on the dashboard and it will have the information. Just something as simple to allow access to the information.
And I get that. I guess my issue is that everybody has great ideas, okay? But trying to implement them is the thing that holds everything away, And it seems to me that if a good idea is going to get implemented, it has to do with somebody's ego. It has nothing to do with the bill itself or what it's trying to accomplish. How, Yugonda Sample Jones, are you going to negotiate all these egos?
Well, the only ego that matters to me is what the people need, the ego of the people. And I go back to my Civics 101 when we talk about where the power truly lies. The city manager is an employee of the city council. The city council is elected by the people. So if you have a city council member, you bring an idea as a resident to a city council member and you want movement on it, then you expect that city council person to be your arm, your extension to the city manager and say, okay, city manager, I need this done. Let me know where it's at. Let me know what it takes to get this goal accomplished. And then in turn, your city council person is supposed to communicate that to you.
Yeah, I know it's supposed to happen. I understand.
And I don't know why it's not happening because I'm not there yet.
Okay, there you go. Once Yugonda gets in, it will be handled. But it seems like everybody keeps talking about any politician like for the good of the city, for the good of the state, for the good of the country. I had someone in here a couple of weeks ago who was also in for the city council. I won't call his name, but we can call him Doctor. And what he was saying was that there was some kind of it wasn't Kroger, it was some type of food.
Wegmans.
That's it. And boy, did he was upset about that. And I was like, well, and I kept asking us, well, why wouldn't it go through? Because it seems to me it checks all the boxes. And I understand what you say about communication.
Yes.
But that's why I brought up egos. Is because it's why wouldn't something like that go through, and how would you have pushed it through?
Yeah. So with something like that, I was there during those days. And I saw a lot of activism. So people in different parts of the city know how to pack city council and share their truth, share what they want. And there was many people that were talking about a green space and this and that. I don't know enough about the project to speak, definitively on it. But what I can say is that I know what about economic growth.
Right.
I felt like there should have been some proactive things done, maybe community meetings
But they're the largest grocery store in the country.
They are. They are.
I mean, so what are we talking about? What's there to talk about?
Community meetings to help residents understand the benefits of having it. Because when I was in that room, it was a lot of people talking about green space and green space, but they didn't really understand that this is in front of the airport. So they were loving that green space that's in front of the airport.
I got you. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
But
in other words, there are a bunch of trees stuff like that. They want to take those down. Is that what you're saying?
well, there's no trees there because it's the landing area where the airplanes go.
Oh, that's right.
So it's a huge green space that was right there
got you.
across from
I got you.
Walmart.
Okay.
I think it would have been an awesome idea because it would have brought people to our city to shop. I don't think there's a Wegmans in Williamsburg, is there?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, so it would have definitely brought economic
Did they
growth
move
to
to?
our
I think.
city.
Well, did they move to Williamsburg? They moved somewhere.
I know
They left Newport News and moved. It may have been Williamsburg.
I think
I'm
it
not
might have been
positive.
Virginia Beach.
Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that would actually make sense.
But it's unfortunate that we did lose them. But I just would have liked to see more communication, explaining to the residents why it's important, how the jobs that it's going to bring, and I think people don't really understand that.
Well, how do they rationalize that this is not the thing to do? In other words, I mean, where are they getting all the words it's coming from? And this is what I'm talking about. So I'm loving when you say communication because I'm really hoping it's communication and it's going both ways. Okay, because I want like a project like that, checks all the boxes a whole lot, and I don't want to get too far into it, but it checks all the boxes. Everybody, it's for the good of the city, etc. And of course, people that voted against it on the council, you have no idea who they are.
Well, you do. I remember a couple of them in the statements that they made. I think one representative actually suggested that they move it downtown Newport News, but we do have problems bringing businesses downtown Newport News because of the perception.
Yeah.
It's not really there anymore. The crime isn't in our community down there that much as it was. But my philosophy is doing things right from the start.
Okay.
And when Wegmans first came to us and said that they wanted to do, like I said, I would love to see more community communication, explaining the pros and the cons of having it here, and then moving accordingly. When you look at the city of Newport News and their Airbnb vote that they made, basically Airbnbs are illegal in Newport News right now, but that's a way to build generational wealth. So why would you keep that from your constituents, from your residents? What I would like to see is doing things right from the start. And I haven't seen that out of my city. And what I mean is when the city manager suggests or recommends an ordinance or something that she's going to put into place, before you do that and a vote is made, talk to the people that you serve first to see how they feel about it, so that you don't have to have a city council room full of 40, 50 people saying, no, we don't want this, and then it passes anyway. That's embarrassing.
I imagine it would be. But anyway, like I said, I study politics. Well, I shouldn't say study. I keep track of politics. I don't know if you can actually study politics, but I keep track of politics, and and I certainly hope that Newport News has a good sense of election.
I hope so too.
And I know you've been out there campaigning. She's campaigning this weekend too, people. Okay.
And you can vote Saturday. Saturday is an early voting day, so City Hall or City Center, you can go vote early.
Okay, that's the last day.
Saturday.
Saturday is the last day of early voting, but you can still vote. Okay, and then of course Tuesday, November 8th is when you do want to vote. All righty, and Yugonda, I want to let you go ahead and sign off. What do you want to say to the people?
I just want to say thank you so much. It has been an honor. It has been a pleasure campaigning and coming out of my introverted shell to show the world just what my passion is, which is connecting people to reliable resources and just being the changes that we need to see in our community. I love Newport News. I grew up here. moved to Hampton, but I grew up in Newport News, and my dad came here because of the opportunity that the shipyard gave him to work and to create a better life for his family.
Right.
So Newport News has everything we need to be this vibrant city where people choose to come here and stay here, not go to Virginia Beach or Williamsburg, but stay right here in Newport News. We just need the right leadership to make that vision happen. I've done the work. I'm knowledgeable. I know I am I'm a public servant. That's who I am at heart. And we need to elect real servants, people that understand that it's not about them, not about them showing up and waving and taking a picture and not knowing what's going on, but actually doing the work, coming to your organization and seeing what it is you need to be the change.
No sound bites.
Exactly, no sound bites, because it is clear communication here, and that's what I hope people can see is my heart, that I am doing this because I love Newport News, I love people, and I want to see us better.
And folks, that kind of wraps it up for us. Listen, I just want to let you, again, November 8th, I am speaking with hopefully soon to be City Councilwoman of Newport News, which district?
South District.
South District. Okay. And we can make that happen on November the 8th. Okay, so November the 8th, make sure you make that happen and vote. Okay, on Sunday, make sure you set your clocks back 1 hour. All right, we don't want you guys having any excuses for missing the vote, that type of thing. Okay, and by the way, don't let her soft voice fool you. She is a force to be reckoned with. All righty, Yugonda Sample Jones, thank you so much for taking the time to come on my show here. We appreciate it. And listen, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
All righty, loud cue. Oh, sorry, it's loud. Just about to say, cue my music. Let's see. All right.
Yeah, 4 days. 4 days.
4 days, 96 hours. Okay.
Counting it down.
Jesus Christ, man. So do you get like nervous or anything like that?
Virginia Radio.